Welcome back to Yugoloth Tabletop, everyone. My name is Charlie Hardman, and I will be your Dungeon Master for tonight. Joining me are my 5 incredible players.
Hi, I'm Will Boyle. I play Moldavite, the Githyanki Sinai Rogue, and I nearly got Sherbin killed last session.
I'm Keith Giant. I'm playing Ezzie VanDerplin, a Divine Soul Sorcerer. And last episode we finally wrapped up the Noah arc, and we're back to Aeschylus once again.
Perfect.
Hello, my name is Cheyenne Mitchell, and I will be playing Alara Cyanidel once again, the Drow Paladin. Last episode was just really fun. I loved fighting with everybody, and it was really funny as well.
Good.
Hello everybody, Nick here, back again with Goatee, our favorite robot boy, and I'm just happy to say that we're keeping this going.
Alrighty then, perfect. Well, something else that came out of this big conflict was also that you all have leveled up.
Yes, I will be not revealing until what I did until the end of the session, but yes.
Alright. You took a... Alright. What else did everyone do with their level 5?
I'm now opened up to 3rd level spells, and
Nice.
and I believe, hit points, of course.
Mm-hmm. Did you take any particular spells?
You'll see once it's used.
Oh, it seems everyone's keeping their characters close to their chest. Cheyenne? What did Lara take?
Yeah, it opened up 2nd level spells for me, and I cannot wait to use Find Steed.
That's a very good one. Right? And what about Goatee, Nick?
Oh, just an extra attack here and there, just 2nd level spells, the usual thing, nothing.
Let's go ahead and go into the recap. When we last left off the party, you all had managed to continue working your way through the rear of the Berzoi mineshaft. Your flanking maneuver had seemed to prove useful, as you had not only managed to find a way inside, but get your way through and get through a number of traps, including a Gnoll alchemist you managed to ambush. However, little known to you was that the Gnolls the whole time were aware of you and subsequently managed to ambush your ambush.
Double ambush.
Yes. A pair of rogue spy Gnoll assassins had been hiding in the shadows and got the drop on you all. However, you were able to fend them off, and even when they had a knife against Sherbin's throat, you managed to come in clutch as Izzie's thaumaturgy spell rolled a nat 20 and managed to not only make the ground shake, but topple over the spy and make them drop their weapon. After that, you found a number of important items, including some healing potions, a few spell scrolls, and, most interestingly enough, a copper mesh tomb with an unlimited number of blank pages. The pages themselves had some writing on them, but you couldn't make them out yet. However, after you had managed to secure the mineshaft and reunite with the rest of the Gnoll army, you did some looking around and found some interesting clues, including more information about this mysterious albino salesperson you keep hearing about. But after an hour, you all had managed to rest up and get ready for the final push against Clawrays. Unfortunately, the main route towards her was guarded off by noxious fumes of hydrogen sulfide clouds that managed to incapacitate the vast majority of the Gnolls, leaving only you and Sherbin capable of taking down Clawrays. Using one of the back tunnel underground river systems, you were able to go down into the mineshaft base, find Clawrays, and engage in a blood feud for the title of Pack Lord of the Gnolls. Ultimately, you proved victorious, with Sherbin becoming the new Pack Lord, even though they completely were against the idea of them assuming leadership in the first place. As a result, they decided to become an interim leader, with the rest of the pack leaders taking over while they trained and got prepared for the position. One final development came out of this situation. At the beginning of the fight, Sherbin had managed to summon a pair of giant hyenas to assist them in combat. But when they did disappear after the fight, Sherbin and the rest of the Gnolls realized that these are not ordinary giant hyenas. They are Shusiva, a special blessing from Lord Yinago himself, given to only his most faithful followers. They are a clear sign in Gnoll culture of a leader and of someone who has been blessed by their god. Tasked with a pair of literal baby god killers, Sherbin left you all to return back to Aeschylus in order to return the relics and be able to continue your journey. We now cut to the front of the Temple of Atonement, where Aeschylus immediately comes forward and congratulates you all. Well done, everyone. Well done. I'm so glad you've made it back safe and sound with the Ring of the Wilderness. This is a very dangerous relic I am glad is finally out of the world, and hopefully can now be put to better use.
Of course. It is great to be able to get these. Also, by the way, and I open up the notebook and I show him part of the writing. I was like, do you know what on earth this type of writing is? Or can you analyze it in any way?
Yes, I'll see what I can do. He is now going to go ahead and make a quick history check to see if he can decipher this language. Unfortunately, he looks it over and tries to decipher the language, but he shakes his head and gives it back to you, saying, I'm sorry, I've never seen something like this. I wouldn't even know where to begin with it.
It's okay. Thank you so much for offering.
I recommend you either go to the Institute for Divine, Natural, and Arcane Research, or to one of the Githzerai monasteries. They might actually be able to help you figure out what this language is. But for now, I'm afraid my skills are somewhat limited on this regard.
Perfect. It is okay. Thank you so much for offering.
My pleasure. Meantime, I must insist that we go ahead and turn in the Ring of the Wilderness. You have it?
Yes. Let me just pull it out of my pocket real quick, and I'll reach down to my pocket and grasp it with my hand.
All right, you do so, and once more, you feel a surge of energy and the constant whispering voice around you trying to tempt you to keep it with you, saying, No, don't give me to him. He'll take away my power, my influence, everything. You can use that power.
Nah.
All right, you give it back to Aeschylus, who, taking it, you see a brief flash of green energy course up his arms and into his irises, but it soon fades as he says, Oh yes, I remember. I gave a good part of my own stamina to this as well, part of the reason it's so potent in the first place. However, he soon pulls out a satchel, throws it inside, and hands it off behind him. A skeletal guard comes forward and takes it, and then holds it on their place. Don't worry, the magic doesn't affect them. However, I think I might have a second lead on another item that we might be able to use. Are you interested?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. In that case, I believe that there might be a second magical item out in the Strawberry Mountains. Right now, nothing's confirmed, but there have been rumors that a certain dragon has come into possession of a magical helm that makes them capable of creating mass illusions and hiding their hidden village. I don't know where the village is right now, but hopefully with you looking for it, we might be able to find it sooner, and then afterwards be able to locate the relic and see if it is there or not.
Perfect. Thank you for the information.
Izzy, did we get a letter from your father to make that we had the access to the gauntlets?
Yeah, I believe we did. How did I slip my mind? I think I really need to go back home now. You guys can join me if you want.
It sounds like a good opportunity. Possibly the dragon can wait as we figure out more of the location of this invisible village.
I mean, the gauntlet is a relic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but you're going to Pishou so soon?
I mean, yeah, before the council changes their mind, we should take the gauntlet now.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'm going to have to ask back for my sending stone then. Thank you.
Yes.
Just for while you're in the city limits, that's all.
I'm gonna
Sure.
pop open my other pouch, give back the sanding stone.
Why
There you
exactly do you ask this back?
If you forgot, he took it.
No reason. I just don't think you'll need it. I mean, after all, you'll be more than capable of taking care of yourself, and you won't need to stay in communication with me while you're in Pishou. And afterwards, I can easily manage to relocate with you afterwards. It won't be an issue.
Can I roll an insight check on this?
Go ahead.
Because also, I don't know, there's nope.
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to just real quick, side bolster knack that.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a 10.
Aeschylus rolled a 9.
Oh!
Yes. Unfortunately, you ask this question, and Aeschylus starts looking away from you once more. They start retreating back into themselves, and he then looks to you all, sighs, and says, all right, fine. Truthfully, I don't want it to be used to track me here. I'm willing to work with your parents, Izzy, but I want to do it on my terms, and I don't want our bad blood, as it were, to interfere with the mission.
Understandable.
That's fair to an extent, but we are trusting you with all of the relics here, and that is a lot of trust we're putting in you, and you can't put a little in us.
Roll me persuasion.
Hey, let's see. I think my persuasion is very high.
If you don't roll well, I'll.
Can I offer the help? Can I offer?
Nope, just on his own.
Okay, cool. Ooh.
That's not. That's a 12.
All right. The 12, Aeschylus is going to mold the silver. He thinks about it, and then decides to give the sending stone back to Goatee. All right. Keep this on, but do not use it unless absolutely necessary.
Do not worry. I will.
However, there's something else I want to take care of as well. And he is going to go ahead and motion for another skeletal guard to come down, and then afterwards, the two guards nod, move down and around, and a few minutes later, return to the scene, driving a carriage.
Ooh.
Nice.
Again, security is important for the temple, but for now, I think this might suit you all for transportation.
This seems like it will be great for transportation to Pishou.
All right, good. Then I wish you all the best. Good luck.
Sick.
Standing upon the banks of the Rosban Ocean, the city of Pishou is an absolute wonder to behold. Forged through centuries of trial and innovation, it is a living monument to the history and culture of the Kalian Empire. You pass through a pristine granite front gate bridge and are escorted to the back of a long line of travelers checking into the city. 20 minutes later, a tired young soldier walks up to you with a bundle of forms in his hands. Name, occupation, reason for coming to Pishou.
Ezzie VanDerplin. Occupation. Person. I have business with my mother, Hilda VanDerplin, and my father, Leon VanDerplin.
The guard looks at your ID card and then blanches as he looks up and says, right away, Mr. VanDerplin. The only thing I have to worry about, I can take care of all this, is you and your friends. Your weapons. Checked or tracked?
Trapped.
Oh, perfect. In that case, everyone, please follow me. And he motions for you all to come with him in through the gates.
I follow.
I follow too. Go with a puzzle like trap. What?
I was like, our weapons have been tracked.
You all step into a small office in the middle of the gate where the guard pulls up and takes each of your bladed weapons. He then sticks them in a brewing cauldron with a yellow potion inside, mutters a few words, and then hands them back to you, all of them with a faint yellow glow. He explains quickly that this is a tracking spell. Here in Pishou, all bladed weapons are either confiscated and stored until a person leaves the city, or placed with a magical tracking spell that keeps inventory of their location, when they are unsheathed, and if they are used to attack someone. This has mainly been in the recent push by the city leaders in order to reduce knife crime and hopefully stave off bladed homicides.
Has there been a large issue as of late?
The guard quickly shakes their hand saying, no, it's not an issue at all. Trust me. It's just a preventative measure meant to make sure that everything is taken care of and we can keep the city safe, secured, and regulated. This is just one of the simple transition points of being in a big city. Unfortunately, there are always going to be bad actors here. This is just simply our way of making sure that those same bad actors don't get into the city and we can keep an eye on what happens. That's all.
I just kind of shoot a look to the rest of the party. I'm like, yeah, right. Or you're just kind of like, what on earth is going on here?
All right.
Goji's smiling. Goji's happy. This is the gears of bureaucracy grinding ever forward.
Actually, that does raise an interesting question. How exactly are you going to check in your moonblades?
They're strapped to they're my hands technically. They're my arms. Oh no.
When you go forward, the guard does take a moment and then decides, well, I can't take them off. You think you could just stick your hand in the cauldron?
Will that hurt?
No, but I've never done this before. Let's just try it out.
I'll dip my hands in the cauldron.
You dip both hands in and they come out, but now your hands are glowing yellow.
Yellow is not your color, Goatee.
I have to agree, yellow it does not suit your vibe, as I think the kids are calling it.
The guard looks at this and says, well, I'm so sorry, sir, but we will try to fix this as soon as possible. Usually the glow goes away in about 5 minutes, so it should be fine, but I'm sure we can probably find a solution or anything. He looks over to Izzy, panicking, and says, well, here, let me call you all a cabbie. And he rushes outside and goes out.
Moldavite just kind of looks over you and with a little bit of magic kind of prestidigitates the glow away.
Alex doesn't look yellow.
Yes, that should last for the 5 minutes, so that should just kind of mask the color of that for a little bit.
My hands feel sticky.
Well, a few minutes later, the guard does return, and he says, okay, good news. I've gotten us a cabbie. Are you all ready to go?
Yes,
sure.
yes we are.
Yes, please.
Perfect. I hope you all enjoy your stay in Pishou, and I hope that your travels are safe and enjoyable.
Clarification question. On the way to Pishou, did we get a long rest?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It was a day or two journey.
Cool. Would I be able to say I spent that time trying to like analyze the script or the language within the book? Because I can use my astral knowledge ability from my Gith Yankee stuff to be able to gain a new language proficiency. So would I be able to spend that time trying to like change my deep speech language that I already had into whatever the language from this book is?
Yes, I will say that. However, I will also say that right now, given that you were on a cramped carriage, you didn't exactly have the best time to study this language in a conducive environment. So for now, I will say that you have a new language proficiency, but you haven't had the chance to study the book fully just yet. That can come later, though. Right? As the guard takes you all outside, a cabbie does indeed show up and stop in front of you. He salutes to you all and retreats back to his post while the cab driver comes down and greets you all. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Pishou, the city on the bikes. What can I do for you lot?
Us laughing.
Izzy, where are we going?
The VanDerplin mansion?
Oh, you lot got some big money to spend. Perfect, perfect. By the way, Governor, you got a favorite team, by any chance?
Izzy heard that question and something clicked in his head. The accent confused him for a second. Then he realized, satyrs? Satyrs?
Hearing this, the driver looks to you all and smiles like a Cheshire cat. Well, color me gobsmacked. Been like big man like you, a satyr man. I can hardly believe it.
Yes, we all here love the satyrs. Yes, we love satyrs here.
Uh-huh.
I immediately open up a psychic communication with Izzy. I'm like, Izzy, what the fuck does this mean?
Just compliment the satyrs. Just keep complimenting.
Yes, their main player is absolutely phenomenal. We love the satyrs here.
All right, thankfully, before things can get any more awkward, you actually do spot Roman coming down the way and coming up to greet you all.
Come on, guys, let's go.
Yes, goodbye. What was your name? Anyway, goodbye.
The driver is a little bit bummed out that you won't be able to join him. However, he understands, turns his vehicle around. As he leaves, the driver pops his head out the window and shouts out, "Fly high!"
Better not say anything. He pretends like he hasn't noticed that.
The driver clocks this, frowns, but continues driving away. Roman approaches, unfazed by the driver's reaction. He instead chooses to round on Ezzie, getting you in a surprise bear hug. Well, look what the cultist sent us. What did that old villain want out of you? Did he make you sign over your souls? Are you blood brothers now?
I still remember Pishou. This place has never changed. Good to see you.
I can say that for certain. Let's get you lot back to the manor. He points towards a carriage while his robot's helper, Temeraire, opens up like a walking table. Roman Akruk, at your service.
Hello, Roman. My name is Moldavite.
I'm guilty.
I'm Valera.
Perfect. Now, let's go ahead and get you all loaded up. Roman leads you all back to your ride. It's a brand new horseless Pegasus carriage, decked out with all of the latest equipment and hardware. All-terrain rubber-tipped carriage wheels, a collapsible rooftop, and an arcane magic-powered battery capable of lasting up to 30 miles on a single spellcast. Inside, the fine leather seats are plush yet firm, giving you optimal support while you feel little to no bumps from the cobblestone roads. And best of all, one-size-fits-all magically adjustable cup holders. Temeraire loads all of your luggage into the trunk, while Roman takes the driver's seats. Yes. How about we give your friends a good tour of the city? Your mom ain't expecting you for a couple more hours. Why not?
I guess we can. It has been a minute.
All right, perfect. He starts down the road and points out a few key landmarks to all of you. First of all, he says, to your right, you will see the Adventurers Guild headquarters, one of the oldest institutions here in Pishou, founded by the three great legendary heroes of old, Dagnall Runestone, aka Dagnall the Mountain Splitter, Beric Mythcaldor, High Priestess and one-time vessel for Corellon Lorethian, and my personal favorite, Evander Ptolemy, the master thief who stole Asmodeus' crown by seducing his daughter. They have been running the place like clockwork ever since. It's home to some of the biggest, baddest bureaucrats in the city. Save for across the pond, Iz?
Yeah, you can say that again.
Seeing the Adventurers Guild headquarters, Moldavite's absolutely just like gobsmacked. Like, he's been wanting to join that for so long, so he's just looking at that like in supreme awe.
I'm taking pictures like a tourist, just.
You head left and then up along the northern border of the town, where Roman gives you a quick rundown. And this here is Old Town, one of the first settlements and city blocks established for the city of Pishou. Izzie's father, Leon, actually started out here. And it's the home place for our own headquarters and base of operations here for Auxol, one of the finest and toughest folks in the lands. I highly recommend you check it out if you're looking for a good, honest, hardworking folk with a lot of good, hardworking craftsmanship. As you all pass through the yellow houses, you get a good look of modest but finely created dwarven and halfling architecture to your left, with a small open lawn park to your right. You then come to the edge of the city walls and make a quick right turn and head due south. Now, here's the real highlight section of Pishou. Gala Gates. Anybody who's anybody comes down here. You got everything you could have and then some. He then points out numerous historical and famous buildings in Gallagate, including the Church of Latter-day Lathandarians, the Riverside Theater House, the Crossroads Supermarket, and of course, the Edencross Institute for Divine, Natural, and Arcane Magics. Both me and Izzy here are dropouts of that school. Right, Iz?
You don't have to put it like that, but technically, yeah.
You dropped out of school?
Hey,
Hey,
I'm doing fine without it, okay?
right, school isn't for everyone. No
Exactly.
shaming.
Education is very important, Izzy. Have you ever thought about going back?
Well, I got sort of homeschooled, you know?
You didn't do like 100 years of training before you, or like you didn't do 100 years of schooling?
Well, I've only been alive for 17 years.
You've only been alive for 17 years?
Baby.
Yeah? How old are you guys?
I'm 392.
You're what?
I mean, you don't really age on the astral sea, so I mean, most of the time I've been aging is just on the material plane. I have wrinkles now.
What are the rest of you?
I mean, I'm 112, but I think I look great for my age.
Don't you know it's rude to ask somebody their age? Hush.
I'm really with an eccentric bunch.
You age? Like,
Alright, well, as you all say this out, Ramon says, well, I'm only a couple years older than Izzy, but it's nice being with a couple of old fuddy-duddies, I must say.
funny, Daddy.
I am not
It
old.
is I'm not old. I mean, in your human years, I'd be like 29, but like what's this? You people from the material plane are so strange.
Well, ain't you the pot calling the kettle black? I like ya.
Oh, thank you so much. It is amazing to be liked.
What about you, Princess? What's 100 years in the Underdark like?
Who are you talking to? Because maybe Goatee. Maybe Izzy, Princess?
Maybe
Yeah, but not me. But yeah, it's okay.
That's your answer.
Got it, Roman replies. I won't call you Princess ever again. Won't even use your name and the word princess in the same sentence. Removing princess from my entire vocabulary.
You can call
Roger
me
that.
Princess.
Oh my.
Well, thanks. Much appreciated. Blows a little kiss.
Hey now, don't distract the driver. As you
Yeah,
all-
princess, don't distract the driver.
I just punch Goatee.
Aye, if you all can't behave yourselves, I'm gonna turn this carriage right back around.
Yeah, you sound like my mother.
Yeah, Ramon, chill out. We're just playing.
All right. He shakes his head and smiles, giving you a wink, Izzy. Your tour comes to a bustling crossroads in the center of town. To your left, an imposing bridge stands across the Priya River, while a massive Gothic cathedral reaches up to the sky, catty-corner right of you. Over there's the Temple of Torm, Roman puts out. Lovely place, I always recommend it. Some of the best masses and matinees you'll ever experience in Kalia. Plus, they're interfaith, so feel free to stock up and get good with your deity. He looks over to Alera. Out of curiosity, Alera, who do you worship specifically?
I do specifically worship Lolth. Do you, by chance, accommodate anything regarding Lolth?
He takes a second to think about it, saying, I don't think so. However, I do know that many of the Winter Eladrin priests are aware of the rest of the Elvish pantheon. Most people don't worship around here, so I'm more than willing to bet they'd be happy to accommodate you.
Ooh, how about Varan, the Masked Lord of Trickery and War? I do love him.
Sorry, never heard of him. But again, I think you'd have to take that up with the Winter priests. Sorry.
Okay, understandable, thank you.
I have possibly no such need for worshipping gods in this sector. The Githyanki culture does not value divinity at all. It is, if the gods were truly all-powerful, they would have stopped us from being tortured by the Mind Flayers for thousands upon thousands of years. So we are somewhat of an atheistic species, not in the fact that we don't believe in gods. They technically exist, but if they truly had the power that they say they do, they would have stopped all the suffering we experienced a long time ago. And we don't really have gods, but we do somewhat have a military like alliance with the goddess Tiamat of the five-headed chromatic dragon. But on top of that, we also have Vlakith, the undead queen.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I don't think we have any of those, but, well...
Yeah, Tiamat's hard to come by. People see her as scary monster, which, possibly.
All right. Well, if nothing else, I hope you at least come out for the mass. It's beautiful.
I'll try.
Perfect.
Do they happen to have any masses on Gond for Gond?
I think we do, but it's only during no month.
That is completely understandable. Do they happen to have it for Primus?
No. I wasn't even aware that people worship Primus. I thought he was just a robot that built other robots.
So, it's a common mistake. I completely understand. So Primus was our deity until the demon prince Orcus came and killed them. And you see his eyes just kind of the slits just close a little bit. So we made weapons against him and went to his plane, kicked down the door, and just destroyed everything until there was nothing left.
Horrifying.
But other beings deemed us too dangerous, so we were exiled. I guess they were too scared.
Surprise, surprise.
So we were left wandering until 2,364 years, 6 months, and 14 days ago, Gond came and found us. He gave us a new purpose in life and new goals to chase. So we give our blessings to him now. For he has allowed us to be reborn as Warforged today. And he gave us one of our greatest gifts, the Gond Central Server, where we can share resources between Warforged. Any information that Warforged has, they can kind of share with one another, so they may use it too.
Okay.
It's kind of back and forth.
Okay. And for a little bit more background information on the Gond Central server, mechanically, and the closest comparison we can give to real life is that it is essentially a large interplanar communication platform and internet service. All right. Each Warforge connected within the server acts as their own mainframe and router, allowing them to connect with and distribute information to one another. Much like with the internet, the server both sends and receives packets of information from each individual, which are then shared amongst one another and allowed to be altered or analyzed. In return, the Warforged themselves are allowed to distribute this information, are able to communicate with each other more frequently, and are all essentially interconnected, somewhat similar to the Gith Zerai hive mind. However, it's less of the idea of everyone can hear everything, but more an idea of everything is stored in one secured location that with the right information and search analytics you can access. That's part of one of the tricky parts of the central server is that after over 2,000 years of information and processing, navigating the space has become somewhat difficult. Matter of fact, there are some who believe that if Gond were to ever return back to his creation, by that point the algorithms and practices and programs used to maintain his creation could make it almost impossible for him to actually access or understand what he initially created, which was arguably by design. Gond wanted this to be something that the Warforged themselves could build upon. He wanted this to be something that they could expand and make completely their own. He envisioned this as a way for the Warforged to not only better understand the outside world, but also each other. And that's one of the core reasons why people work with it. Now, with that said, there are a few key things about it. While this is an untapped knowledge of over 2,000 years of information, it is one that only the Warforged have ever had access to. Gon specifically abstained from accessing the information himself. He made sure that only the Warforged were given access keys to them, and since the beginning of its runtime, there has been no documented case of a non-Warforged or even a robot built like a Warforged ever accessing the central server. With that said, however, not all Warforged are forever connected to it. There are cases where Warforged have become disconnected from the server due to various issues, although the most common one is that their initial body is destroyed. Remember, the Warforged body acts as both the router and mainframe. It's how they communicate directly. So theoretically speaking, if you destroy the body and a part of the code is still kicking around, like say the head or another part of them, that part will still be access to it, will still be functioning, but it will not have direct access to the router, and as a result, they are considered mentally and spiritually dead to the server, and is therefore cut off access completely. Okay?
Cool.
Well, since we're all sharing, I wouldn't say I worship any god as much as I should, but I do believe in them. My parents always made an effort not to pressure me into worshiping their gods, of which there are many. But I don't know. Flandel Steelskin, the gnome god of smithing and fitness, and Oberon, the deity of nature and wild animals, always stood out to me for a particular reason.
Roman then pulls the carriage up to a giant bridge across the water. The bridge itself is an absolutely breathtaking sight. Long, slender, copper-nickel arches reached along the sides, while the decking is an intricate cobblestone that glistens and shifts in the sunlight. Below, powerful alabaster piers plunge into the cool waters of the Razban River. Each one is adorned with a proud Kalian flag, flying valiantly in the afternoon winds. Lovely, ain't it?
That is absolutely gorgeous.
Well, what if I told you it's only 8 years old?
Eat?
Yeah. You see, when the portal to the Feywild was first discovered, folks wanted an easier way to transport people from plane to plane without the church. My folks were one of the first to start construction on this butte. Took them nearly 10 years, but I think the results speak for themselves. As you cross over, you see various ships approach. At one point, a massive barkentine emerges from the right of the bridge, flying the flags of Kalia and the Feywild. Probably wondering how such a large ship comes through as well as fits underneath the bridge, eh? Well, take a look down below. He pulls over to the edge of the bridge, where you see each of the arches etched in golden elvish letters. The bridge itself is a connector for both the city and the realms. Ships dock outside in a queue and state their destination, intent, and passengers. He points to the east, where a distant blue lighthouse emanating a sapphire beam. A relay master takes that list and sends it out from the Feywild to Kalia as a beam of light. The lighthouse both accepts incoming beams as well as sends its own to the entrance. It then points west to a red lighthouse. The red house can then choose to accept the order and turn on its own light to activate the portal. Once it's open, the ships can pass through as well as out without so much as a mast or torn sheet. It's a marvel of interplanar tech that we helped to build. I know it may just be a bridge, but to us Valiants, it's a testament to what we can do when we work together here in Pishou.
Fascinating. Simply fascinating.
Truly a marvel of engineering and magic.
It's pretty here.
Yes, it is absolutely lovely to see the workings of the material plane.
A few minutes later, you pull off to the left of the bridge and come up to a small private via not far from the banks of the ocean.
These are some nice houses, damn.
No, it's like such a big house. Moldavite just kind of looks at this utterly in awe. It's like, you live here?
Yes, I do. Izzy just taking in the air. It's so much cleaner here.
Is this you? What do you do with all this space? Do you just have like so many knickknacks? Is all of this just like training areas, or?
Essentially, yeah.
For a brief rundown of the VanDerplin estate, it is a large manor property with a massive fenced-in lawn and various barracks around the area. Essentially, after she retired 5 years ago from active duty, Lady VanDerplin decided to set up and host a private military academy to train future generations of soldiers and holy knights for the city of Pishou, the Adventurers Guild, and Kalia at large. As a matter of fact, as you make it through, you actually do come across her out in the courtyard working with new recruits on their training regiments. Oh, right. Roman smiles. It's Tuesday. Her ladyship's out giving the recruits their weekly whacks. How about us alumni crash the training, Is?
Yeah, I think we should.
Making your way down the stone path, you are treated to a kaleidoscopic garden of numerous wildflowers and herbs from across the dimensions. Vines blooming with singing technicolor flowers wrap up around tree branches while spiky hue grass sways in a non-existent breeze. The path ends in the middle of a grass training field where 24 knights-to-be spar with one another using wooden weapons and various equipment. Watching them all while weaving between the dueling circles is Lady Hilda VanDerplin herself. Despite what many people believe, the legendary paladin has never allowed her status nor age to interfere with her training and physique. Her muscles are still as well-defined and bulked as when she first became a knight. Her hair is still a distinguished hazel, save for a few streaks of gray and white, and her face, though wrinkled with age, is a soft, harvested honey hue that breaks into a warm grin as soon as she sees you. Ezzie! She runs over to the four of you, embracing her son in a warm hug. How was your first mission? Is everything alright? Did you get hurt? Were your spells okay? Tell me everything.
Hey Mom, yeah, I did miss home, but everything was fine, you know. Me and my little, I guess you could say we're like a tiny little group. Yeah, we did a lot actually.
Hilda lets go of you and moves forward to shake everyone's hand. Hilda VanDerplin, I'm so happy to meet all of you.
Moldavite just has like the firmest, most intense handshake ever. Like it goes on for like their handshake goes on for a little bit too long.
Alright, roll me athletics check.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. Amazing.
She reciprocates this handshake.
Hold on, that was Cox.
Yeah.
15.
Alright. You go in for the firm handshake, fully confident in your ability to impress her. She smiles, and then in turn tightens down twice as hard, saying, I like a man with a good firm handshake.
Moldavite's just like he doesn't want to admit to Izzy, but like Izzy's like full like Stacy's mom, like Izzy's mom has got it going on.
Izzy grabs Moldavite's shoulder and like, okay, that's enough.
He's
enough.
She moves on and shakes everyone else's hand, including Goatee and Alera.
My hand may not grip as hard, but I try my best in everything else.
Right. She takes it gently and gives you a good handshake, but you don't feel any discomfort. Alera, however, when she shakes your hand, she holds on it a little bit longer. It's great to meet you, Miss Janadel. Thank you so much for helping my son with this mission. I hope your travels haven't been difficult.
Lara's visibly kind of anxious in this situation, trembling just a little as she shakes this very powerful woman's hand. It was nice, Mrs. VanDerplin.
All right, if you could just give me a second, please. She turns and addresses the trainees. Everyone, take 15. I need to talk to my son about his quest. We'll be going over polearms when I get back. The recruits all salute her as Hilda takes you all inside the manor.
Moldavite goes inside and just absolutely like again gobsmacked by just how nice of a place this is. Like very like you live here. This is just a place where you live.
I want Izzy to be like excitedly walking backwards while showcasing everything. Yeah, I kind of do. I guess I've been here all my life. It kind of was unimpressed to me, but you're making me appreciate it more.
I do not want to like compare. My room when I was child was 5x5 Spartan style bed. This
That's
is
my closet. Oh my god.
this the size of your closet? I had no closet.
Where do you put your clothes?
I just had them under my bed. This is absolutely insane.
You poor thing.
I do not want your pity.
300 years and that's what. It's okay. You're here now. You made it.
Hilda quickly escorts you up the manor hall and towards her private study.
Private study. Yes.
The room itself is large but modestly decorated. Her walls hold a number of weapons dating throughout the centuries and nations, giving it an air of age and intensity. She sits down at her desk and pulls out a sending stone. Leon, sweetie. Izzie's back. Yes, he just got here. How soon do you think? Tomorrow? Oh, no, don't. Okay, perfect. No, don't bother. We'll come pick you up. All right. I love you too, sweetie. Bye.
Don't.
I'm just looking at Ezzie like.
Your father's still at his office, still busy looking over every tomb about prophecies he can get his hands on. He completely forgot to prepare the gauntlet, and it won't be ready until tomorrow morning, unfortunately. I swear, I tell him to let you handle this on your own, but oh no. He won't rest until he has the last thought on the matter. Fortunately, he'll get it ready, and you'll be able to leave with it first thing tomorrow morning.
Perfect.
As for the Sentinel's plates, Hilda shifts in her seat. I don't think you should leave with it just yet.
Wait, why?
Hilda looks to you and then to the others. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe back at the Hall of Commons. However, the plate isn't something we can just take out of the city for long periods of time. Remember, Izzie, its holy energy radiates a protective anti-abjuration field around Pishou's perimeter. It protects the city against outside interplanetary invasion, as well as help us regulate the bridge portals. If we remove it from its resting spot, there's a likelihood that someone or something could enter the city and attack us. The council wouldn't dare entertain the idea of letting the plate leave the city for even a day, let alone how long it could take for you to find and gather the remaining relics. And as a holy knight of the watch, I cannot in good conscience allow the people I have sworn to protect to be put in danger, even for you, sweetie.
No, that makes sense. It can always be the last relic, but after we get the gauntlet, we might need your help finding another.
Really? And why would you need my help, sweetie?
Well, it was rumors of a dragon and illusions. I didn't exactly remember the full story, but we thought it was easier to come here and get the gauntlets first.
It was a good plan. However, this is your quest, sweetie. I can't help you any more than I have already.
Fine.
She grins to herself and says, Ezekiel, I know what you're capable of. You are my son, and I'm not gonna let you fail without making sure you're prepared. Speaking of which, she gets up and moves towards the corner in the office.
As she does that, I just kind of lean over and I'm like, Ezekiel?
Don't.
Ezekiel.
Don't. Don't.
What if we call you
Eyes
Zeke?
clown.
Don't take can and old man.
What about Zeke?
Zeke instead of Izzy.
Zeke is also a fun. I feel like Zeke
Okay,
also.
okay. Tin can, old man, and princess.
An old man princess.
As this
Good
happens,
stab.
you are suddenly interrupted as you hear a large sheathing sound come from a display cabinet. You look around and see Hilda holding out a large greatsword and grinning at the four of you. There are a few things I want to make sure of myself. We cut outside as you return to the training ground to find Roman recounting to the recruits all the times he almost beat Hilda herself during his time at the academy. When you approach, he turns and asks, So, What did her ladyship want to talk about?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Probably wants to train us.
Oh, really? At the mention of a fight, all of the recruits begin whispering to one another. The Autumn's Fury is going to fight someone? I thought she was retired. No, she'll probably just have us fight them. There's no way. Immediately, everyone snaps to attention and assembles around the outline of a fighting ground.
No, she can't help herself. Guys, try not to get hurt.
Oh gosh.
Well, what do
it's
you
nothing big,
mean? What do you mean, Izzy?
Well,
We're fighting Lady Hilda VanDerplin herself. So if I die, I will die in the field of battle against a great hero. So
she
that is
won't
also.
kill you. Just maybe injure you a little bit. She just wants to test us.
I will wear that scar with pride.
Despite the rigors of time, Lady Hilda VanDerplin more than lives up to her title as Defender of the Realm. Adorned in full armor with her shield and trusty sword, Fallmaker, she marches up to you, radiating pure, pious power. The sword's hilt is a powerful, holy gold that glows at her touch. The blade is nicked, but sharp as flint. Attention! The recruits in Raman snap their heels and salute. Today, I've decided to forego training and offer you all a treat. My son is going on his first mission, but before he does, I wish to test their abilities. He looks to all of you with steely-eyed determination. She then whistles, causing a piercing eagle call to pulsate across the city. Suddenly, a large shadow eclipses the sun as a giant griffin descends and lands right in front of you. You four, into the ring. It's about time Sigmund and I take you back to school. Everyone, roll me initiative.
Oh no.
Sigmund, no.
18 for Moldavite.
Okay?
16 Izzy.
19, Alara.
18 goatee.
All right. What are your guys' two dexterity scores?
16.
Not 16. I think mine's like. Mine's also 16.
That means you two are gonna have to do another roll off. Just roll me d20s. Whoever's higher, go first.
8.
8?
Yeah.
I got 14.
Okay.
All right, cool. Guilty will go ahead and go first. However, first in initiative is going to go ahead and actually be Sigmund himself. All right.
Oh no.
He is going to go ahead and, at Hilda's command, attempt to claw at Moldavite and Izzy right now. Nat 20 for Moldavite.
This is the point where we're going to reveal Moldavite's new class. With a little bit of magical energy from the book, he almost instinctively tries to do a dodge, but instead I cast Silvery Barbs, revealing that Moldavite now is multi-classing a wizard. So I give him disadvantage on this attack, and then I'm going to give myself the advantage.
Actually, read me the description of Silvery Barbs.
You magically distract a triggering creature, aka him, must re-roll the d20 and use the lower roll. You can then choose a different creature with range. You can choose yourself. The chosen creature has advantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw it makes within 1 minute. The creature can only be powered by one use of the spell at a time. So Moldavite just kind of imposes this kind of multiversal psionic bad luck on it and gives himself the good luck in return.
Okay, let me re-roll again. Oof, you're gonna kill me. Another nat 20.
Oh my god!
Unfortunately, you're still gonna take this critical damage.
Oh my god, that's a 1 in 400 chance.
That's only going to be 12 points damage, though.
Thank God.
Yep. Second attack, though, that's only going to be an 11 to hit. Izzy?
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Perfect.
Hey, he claws at Izzy, and Izzy, jumps back, hey, bad, Sigmund, bad.
Focus on the fight, son. This is a duel. Now we are going to go to Alara. What are you going to do on your turn, Alara?
I would like to. I don't want to be mean to Sigmund.
Then don't go for Sigmund, just go for Hilda.
Oh my gosh, that's scary. Maybe I will go for Sigmund. Yeah, I'll shoot my crossbow at Sigmund. 19.
Ooh.
19 will still hit. Roll me the damage then.
8.
The crossbow bolt connects between Sigmund's shoulder blade and wing, causing him to cry out in pain, but he is still focused on his task, which is keeping everyone preoccupied.
Alara, don't hurt him.
I'm sorry, Sigmund.
I'm just gonna look at it like, huh? No, why? Animal, why? Why did you do that?
Well, go to it's your turn. What are you going to do?
Huh? I'm gonna, this is a fight, but I don't want to hurt the animal. No. No, I'm gonna lock in the faceplate and just go. We take out Hilda, the fight is over. I'm gonna bonus action Hunter's Mark Hilda. So, if I hit her, it deals bonus damage. Then I'm gonna shoot with my hand crossbows at her. Does a dirty 20 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay. 6 piercing. This is not going to do swarm. 3, so 9. And then Hunter's Mark. 11 piercing at her for the first attack. And because I'm level 5, I get the extra attack. So with my attack action, I can make 2 attack rolls. That's an odd one.
Oh no.
You take that attack. Now it's your turn, Moldavite. What are you going to do?
Cool. So I'm going to just kind of run alongside of this thing, not leaving its threatened area. Kind of going behind Hilda, and then I summon a psionic blade. It starts like thundering with magical energy, and I cast Booming Blade on her. And I have advantage to hit on this. Ooh, baby, that's gonna be a 24 to hit.
24 hits.
Amazing. So, oh geez, that was awful. I'm going to, so that's 6 plus 4, that's 10 psychic damage, and it kind of like one of those glyph-like runes from the book appears on her. If she moves away from me because of Booming Blade, she takes an extra D8 thunder damage. And with my bonus action, since I have my other hand free, I'm going to generate another psychic blade. This one won't be with it. Nat 20. That'll be 4, 6. That'll be another 10 psychic damage.
Now, with Wizard, the big thing about them is that, unlike other spellcasters, they are primarily based on their own inner magical abilities as well as the texts and components they use. I take it you're using the book as your spell book, correct?
Yes.
All right. When exactly did you decide that, or how?
Well, I kind of cut back to a little bit earlier. This is like back in the village of Talhelm when we were just kind of resting for a few days, taking a few days break. Moldavite spent most of those days just kind of poring over the book, and it just fully was, he was just having a lot of issues with it, so he eventually just kind of like decided enough was enough, and he went to Ezzie to talk about just kind of get his opinion, or just speak with him, just figure out what on earth this thing is.
Okay. Izzy, how did you react?
Izzy was kind of surprised that Moldavite came to him for something, for trouble, but he tried to explain it in a way to like, you have to channel the magic and you have to feel it deep down in your soul, but it's really different when it comes to sorcerers as opposed to wizards. But the way he explained it was that bubble in your gut, the innate feeling of magic swirling around and creating the form that you want it to take, depending on which element and stuff like that.
Nice.
So when you cast like guiding bolt, is that just the bubbling in the gut and then just boom laser?
Yes, radiant damage especially is that burning gut sensation, and then you just shoot out a bolt and you guide it.
And I try and do that like momentarily of just like trying to feel that like the magic within me, but also because I'm a wizard, I try and like channel the book's magic through think as I do that with prestidigitation, finally sparks begin to shoot out of my hand in this kind of like ghostly, wispy energy specifically.
Yeah, as that happens, you actually do feel a bit of magic coming through. Again, the key distinction between wizards and sorcerers is that wizards themselves draw from the material world specifically. So while at first you don't feel anything from within yourself, you are, however, able to feel something as you begin just concentrating on the book, and then later on the specific components you use for that prestidigitation spell. So using a combination of those two, you feel yourself drawing in the magic from the two objects, interacting with one another, you acting as a sort of connector between the two, and as a result, you are able to conduct their magic and create the desired effect. Specifically, what did you want with this prestidigitation spell?
I think as he's kind of just channeling the magic, just kind of speaking in Githyanki, just speaking these kind of like words of power, little like a kind of ghostly wisp of energy comes out, almost like when you snuff out a candle, the kind of like trail of smoke that remains, that, but like kind of the air around them gets a little bit colder, and that kind of like, even though it's a prestidigitation spell, a little bit of necrotic necromancy energy appears.
Right. She takes this damage and then looks to you saying, "Impressive. It's been a while since someone's been able to do that kind of work to me. However, your form is a bit lacking." She readies her sword and is going to take 3 attacks against you.
Oh, jeez.
All right. First attack, 18.
Hits.
Second attack, 19.
Hits.
Third attack, 14.
Misses.
All right, so the first 2 attacks. As she does this, you see the blade start powering up as she takes this attack, and she deals 16 points radiant damage to you.
16.
On the first attack.
On the first attack,
Yep. Second attack, 19.
Moldavite goes down and is very. Was this non-lethal damage?
Yes.
Okay, good.
No,
So
you're
I
just
go
dead.
no, I nearly could have died from that attack. Moldavite is just fully down.
As this happens, she kneels down and says to you, "You've got a good fighting style on you, but it doesn't matter how fancy your style is if you're always dependent on your opponent looking away from you. Be careful." And at the end of her turn, she is then going to go ahead and use her lay on hands to give you up to 5 hit points.
Amazing.
Keep in the game for a little bit longer. I know you can learn a lot from this. That takes us now to Izzy. What are you going to do?
Alright, Izzy has seen Moldavite get down and picked up in the same turn. And he's going to immediately dash forward, about right there. And he's going to cast Inflict Wounds. And he's going to twin spell that.
Nice.
Instead of like pointing at the creature, I want him to go for a strongest sucker punch against both Hilda and Sigmund. And he's going to cast it at 3rd level.
Alright, perfect. What is your familiar doing?
My familiar is on my shoulder, cowering in fear.
I will say that you could use them to give you the help action,
I can
since
use
it is
it
a
on my
melee
turn?
spell attack.
Okay, well, I'll use it on my turn, yeah.
Alright, who do you want this advantage to be against, Hilda or Sigmund?
Hilda, of course.
Alright, perfect. Take the attack rolls then.
Okay, actually that's 20.
That
Not
hits Hilda.
20, but 20.
It's Hilda.
And then we'll do the damage first.
Roll me for Sigmund first to see if you can hit.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's what, 21?
That hits. Now roll me damage.
Oh my god, it's 5 d10s. That's 32 damage.
Now for Sigmund.
Take that, Mom. Sigmund, that's 26 damage.
Nicely done. Sigmund takes this attack, and as a result, the necrotic energy causes him to shiver in pain, while your mom actually is taken aback by this attack. She smiles at this, saying, "You've gotten so strong, sweetie. At this point, you may just be able to surpass me in a few years."
Izzy still takes a step backwards, hesitantly.
You do that, and as a result, she is then going to grab forward and say, "Oh no, Mr. Man, you're staying here, and I'm going to make sure you get everything that's coming to you. And she is now going to take an opportunity attack against you as you move away. Nat 1, though. She just you managed to wriggle out of her grip right before she can get to you. That takes us then to the top of the order, back with Sigmund. Sigmund is going to go ahead and actually fly above you all and fly over and make 2 attacks against Alera and Goatee, and then fly back. 2 nat 20s.
That Sigmund has been rolling like.
17 points of damage to Goatee, followed by 25 to Alera.
Oh my god.
However, I will say that both of you will be able to take opportunity attacks against Sigmund since they flew over, but then flew back around.
Does it not have flyby?
No.
All right. Then I will take my opportunity attack. I only get 1, right?
Yes.
16 plus 9, that's a 25.
It's.
All right. That's going to deal 8 piercing, and I'm going to use my swarm for 10. So 10 in total.
Okay.
Ah.
Make your strike, Alera.
19.
That hits.
Damage is 8.
It's now going to be your turn again, Alera. What are you going to do? Lady VanDerplin is right in front of you, and Sigmund is looking weakened by your attacks.
I want to try to battle with my rapier, Lady VanDerplin.
Okay. Take your strikes.
18,
18 hits her.
10.
As this happens, she takes the damage as she tries to parry you, but you swerve your sword around and get her through. She says, interesting. However, I'm curious. There's no energy behind this attack.
Oh.
Take your second attack.
16.
16 misses.
Oh.
As she says this, she looks to you and says, you save your energy for yourself, but a true paladin knows how to channel their energy from themselves into their blade. You aren't just a healer or a fighter. You are more than that. Like so, as she begins charging up her attack and causing the blade to glow. However, before she can, Goatee and Moldavite, it's your guys' turn. Goatee, you're first.
Okay. I just saw Moldavite get absolutely wrecked. So I'm just gonna go, all right, time for the barrage. And I'm gonna go to my attack with my hand crossbows. First one is a natural 20.
Ooh.
Hits.
So double the damage of the weapon. So that's going to be 3, 6, 10. Then I'm gonna use my swarm for an extra 2 points. And the hunter's mark for 13 from the crit.
Perfect.
Second attack. That is going to be a 15, so I don't think that's gonna hit.
Misses, unfortunately.
Then I'm gonna use my bonus action to fire again because I have a crossbow expert. That is another natural 20.
Perfect.
Come on, 10, and then the hunter's mark. 16.
Hilda takes these 2 attacks and begins to start bleeding from them. She rubs against her forehead and sees blood against it, and then clocks you with steely determination.
Oh,
Moldavite, it's your turn. What are you going to do?
Cool. I'm gonna Misty Step over to behind the tree as a bonus action to get a little bit of cover. You see, just Moldavite momentarily teleports through like this kind of psionic magic, and I'm okay. Alera is within 5 feet, so I do have advantage on this. I mean, not advantage, but I still will get sneak attack if I hit. Nope, that's a 2.
Misses, I'm afraid. Sorry. That then takes us to Lady VanDerplin, who is going to go ahead and step forward towards Alera. She takes a moment and says to you quickly, you see, it's important that you channel your divine paladin energy through your blade at all times. We have other means of supporting one another, but our duty, first and foremost, is to protect our allies and destroy our enemies. And this is one of our greatest methods of doing so. You don't have to be afraid of running out of abilities. Your god will support you. As such, she takes this attack against you. First attack, 27. All right. Second attack, 12. Third attack, 18. All right, only one of the attacks hits. 4. 23 points damage. She strikes you down, then takes the remaining movement she has left over to move towards Goatee. Now, what about you?
Help, help, help. I'm at 2.
Oh no.
Izzy, it's your turn. What are you going to do?
Izzy sees Hilda get close over there. He takes a step back to motivate by the tree, and then he's going to cast. Spiritual weapon this time. As let's keep it at the second level. Yeah, let's keep the same level as that. Targeting Hilda.
Go ahead.
Ooh yeah, that's 25.
That is.
That's 12 force damage.
Nice.
And then the sword, the spiritual weapon will take the sword of a giant golden sword, and it'll like sheathe itself into the ground while it's not being used. It's the next turn.
Cool, cool. Back to the top of the order with Sigmund again. Once more, Hilda's faithful mount is going to charge forward fearlessly and take 2 attacks against Izzy and Alera. First attack against Izzy. 23.
I think that hits.
6 points damage. Alera? 19. 9 points damage.
I'm down.
Oh no.
Lara is laying there defeated, but pretty.
We now go to Alera. Unfortunately, it's going to be your turn now. Let's see here. Since you are unconscious, you are going to have to make me a quick death saving throw. So roll me a d20 and don't add anything to it. Just
Were they not going with like non-lethal attacks or? Oh, okay.
That's a 3.
Yeah,
that's just
3.
1 strike. All right. Unfortunately, Sigmund does not know how to attack non-lethally.
Ooh.
Oh gosh.
However, that's just one of the turns. We now go to Goatee. What are you going to do?
I am just going to say I'm probably gonna go down in a minute. This has been a wonderful fight, I gotta say. Truly wonderful. Let's go out swinging, shall we? And since I'm within melee range, I still do not get disadvantage on my attack rolls with the crossbows because I have crossbow expert. That is going to be a 17.
Misses.
That is going to be a 23.
Hits.
And the last attack is going to be another 17, so no, only 1. That is going to be 5, Swarm for 6, then it's going to be so 9 points piercing.
Okay. You attack her, and as she does so, she at first blocks the second hand as you move towards it. You get a quick shot with the second one, but as soon as you reload the second for the third shot, she blocks you once more and attempts to try to pin you down with her greatsword. Roll me an athletics check.
Oh joy. Natural 20.
Add your modifiers.
So 24.
All right. She notes this and tries to stop you, but you put up some resistance, so she is forced to instead sweep your legs and pin you down that way as she grapples you on the floor. She is then going to use a bonus action to pin you as she says, "That was very impressive. However, you do not have any melee attack capabilities."
You know, the crossbows work very well in melee range too most of the time.
Maybe, but at the end of the day, if someone gets in your face like this, you have to have a backup plan and the ability to respond accordingly. You are a natural magic user, correct?
Yes.
I could see that with your swarm, but it seems that while you are indeed a notable ranger, you're somewhat of a limited fighter. Tell me, what do you seek most out of using the natural world? Grant you greater power, or you seek to bond with it and let it channel itself through you?
I mainly seek balance, honestly. It's more balance than just picking one side.
Admirable. However, my recommendation is that you seek to find that in all forms of life, not just your magic. As such, she gets up and she is going to call the combat saying, "Well done, everyone. You've done excellent today. However, I think it's safe we call it here. Unless, of course, you'd like to get one more shot at me, Moldavite." She looks to you in the tree.
I steady aim. You know what? Full on Moldavite just kind of jumps down because I have an ally within. I will get sneak attack. I booming blade. So I'm gonna roll the hit. No, that's 9.
All right. You try to stab down onto her, but she quickly blocks it and says, "Good attempts. And honestly, I think you've definitely improved on your awareness."
And then I go with my second attack with the tiny. I try to be like, oh, but there's more, and I try to use like a little side dagger psychic knife, and I just go way over her head, trying to overcorrect on a nat 1.
Yep. She ducks and gives you a quick sucker punch down. That doesn't do any damage, but she does smile and say, "Well done, well done. Everyone, this has been a worthy fight. I hope you've learned a lot from this. As for you 4, you're more than ready for your quest." She quickly goes over to Alera and heals you for 50 hit points.
Beautiful.
Can we take a short rest after this?
Yes, absolutely. Here. And she tops you all, uses her remaining lay on hand and spell slots to top you all off.
Alright.
Give me an hour to finish things up here, and then we'll leave to pick up your father for dinner. Hilda points behind you all to a small station in the back.
Miss VanDerplin, you're kind of bleeding right here.
"Oh, I'll be fine. Thank you, though. In the meantime, go ahead and check out the shower stalls and freshen yourselves up."
I'm gonna turn to Moldavite and just say, "I made her bleed."
You did make her bleed. I'm going to go crash now. My leg hurts after trying to jump out of a tree.
As Hilda escorts you all towards the shower stalls, you hear the recruits recount their excitement as they discuss your face-off against Hilda. Thankfully, the hot water and good soap helps wash away most of your fatigue. And an hour later, you all come out feeling refreshed and revitalized after a hard-fought battle.
Wonderful. Just see Cody with a towel around his waist, just walking out.
By the time you're finishing up, all of the recruits have left for the day to return home. Ramon waves towards you all, then points towards the main house. Hilda is just exiting herself, fully refreshed and wearing a simple but semi-casual power suit with a matching empty scabbard at her side. Ramon then moves into the cockpit of the Pegasus and drives it up for you all to get in. He smirks as he sees Ezzie with a claw mark wound down his face.
How do you get that? Bless you.
Sure it is. But as you all are getting inside, Alera, you feel Hilda's hand on your shoulder. "A moment, please, Miss Shanodel."
Oh, hello, Lady VanDerplin.
Hilda waits for everyone to go up to the carriage and says, "I have to say, that was some really great power you used back there. By any chance, are you clerically trained?"
Well, for one, thank you, Lady VanDerplin. But yes, I was originally trained as a cleric.
I thought so. Usually cleric paladins aren't always the best at smiting, but they are absolutely amazing when it comes to their spellcasting abilities. Personally, I think the best paladin is one that buffs their party while smiting their foes. I think you are more than capable of that.
Thank you, Lady VanDerplin.
Yes, of course. But I suppose it helps that you're using such excellent craftsmanship. She points to your blade. That's elvish steel. Straight from Lith Miathar, correct?
Oh yeah, have you been there?
No, but I know people who have. She lets the statement linger, not breaking eye contact.
Alera starts to get kind of visibly uncomfortable, realizing what Hilda is saying here.
My best friend has spent her whole life destroying the Drow slave trade. Do you think she wouldn't mention or describe the sigil of the city that first enslaved her? She points at your shield to emphasize the point.
Oh, well, Alara, is kind of shaken up in this moment. I'm sorry, Lady VanDerplin. I don't really know how to respond to that.
She holds up her hand and shakes her head. You don't need to say anything. I don't pretend to know everything that happens in the Underdark, but I know this much. If Ezzie trusts you, and so do I. So, I just wanted to be clear where we stood, paladin to paladin. The only question I have is, why are you specifically interested in collecting the relics?
There's this, horde of evil demons that are just threatening to destroy my home, and I just need the relics for that, you know?
Oh, understandable then. Well, I'm sorry nobody told you about the year-long wait time. If it's any consolation, hopefully this journey will help give you the strength you need to defeat them without the relics. Nonetheless, I wish you the best of luck afterwards in protecting your home. But if you need any advice or training now, my door is always open. On the way over, Hilda watches the four of you talk, occasionally looking outside, but happy to see you all together. 20 minutes later, you arrive at Alxol LLC. The building stands out from the rest of the Northern District in a number of significant ways. Unlike the more traditionally Gothic dwarven architecture surrounding it, the main building is a marvel of modern design. Stained glass windows line the top half and ceiling, giving the building a colorful, natural glow from the sun spreading a warm palette of reds, violets, and oranges inside. Gargoyles are replaced by rotating turrets equipped with solar panels, radar trackers, and signal towers organized in practical but still organic architectural patterns. Stepping inside, you are greeted by a warm, evocative fragrance that leaves you excited for what you will find within. A dragonborn receptionist steps out from his desk to greet you, then escorts you up the elevator. You get off on the 5th floor, where you pass over a second set of windows to your left, showing a myriad of activity on the testing room. Kankus tinker and put together a makeshift airplane, while a pair of dwarves rev up a massive turbine. Humans and elves in hazmat suits cast spells on yellow radioactive bins behind a glass barrier, while various other smaller projects, led by a wide palette of Kalia's finest spellcasters, tinkerers, and inventors, work together to transform the world for a better tomorrow. At the end of the hall, you see a Tabaxi secretary typing away next to a small door with the words Leon VanDerplin, CEO, etched on them. The receptionist whispers into her ear as the secretary steps forward. Good evening, your ladyship. She bows in front of Hilda. Dr. VanDerplin is still inside. I'm afraid he might be a little too preoccupied with his work again. Shall I wake him? No, that's not necessary, Jemima. Let's go in, everyone. You enter into a large office space littered with scrolls, sketches, and disassembled devices and tombs. Leon's head pops up from a pile of paperwork on it at his tiny office. Despite seeing him a couple days ago, it looks like he's been at this for weeks. His clothes are stained with sweat and ink blots. His eyes have more bags than a grocery store, and his hair is a cycloned catastrophe. Izzy, is that you? He rubs his eyes and steps forward before tripping over a couple of books. He curses, then takes your hand in his. What happened? What did Aeschylus tell you? Is the prophecy real? What? Tell me everything. Dear, that's enough. Hilda rests her hand under Leon's shoulders, then, like a child, picks him up. You've been at this for 18 hours. You need some rest. Leon sighs. All right. But not until after I hear everything about what happened. Please.
Where do I begin? So, I was finna go in, ramble.
Went to some gnolls, found the Ring of the Wilderness, fought them for it, won, got the ring back.
Ran into some nihilistic satyrs.
Ran into some undead.
Nearly saved the village of Talhelm by being overrun by undead super soldiers.
But then one no pack and the other no pack, so we had to help that no pack fight this no pack.
There was It was a supreme amount of politics going on in the wilderness that we had to. I stepped into a bush that was like uncooked spaghetti. Was like cooked spaghetti that was disgusting.
Then I learned the spell, and then I had a pet ferret, and then he died, and then. But yeah, we're back.
As you continue explaining your adventure to Dr. VanDerplin, he slumps down in his chair and buries his head in his hands. Once you finish, he shakes his head and mutters, "Of all the incompetent blunders, incompetent or not, his prophecy checks out." She turns to you all. "I've only heard one other prophecy in my life, but it was just like the one you told me. So if you need to collect the relics, do so with our blessing. I'll make sure you leave with the transmutation gauntlet. But I want to make sure you keep us informed of your progress every step of the way. I don't want you gallivanting off into who knows where and end up stuck in another demiplane because that buffoon can't teleport you out.
We promise we'll be careful.
Not good enough. I need you to keep me constantly informed. Please, son. This is your first mission. I don't want you getting stuck in a location that we can't help you with."
We'll make sure to keep you updated. I mean, we've been pretty well off so far.
I agree, Hilda says. This is his adventure, Leon, so he should be allowed to make his own decisions. Well, yes, but Leon looks around, unsure of what to say. Suddenly, Hilda's hand flies out and accidentally topples over a lamp on Leon's desk. Oh, darn it. Sweetie, I'm so sorry. Could you please help me? My hand, it seems to have been damaged during our fight. Oh, no problem. Hilda takes off her right glove to reveal a metal prosthetic underneath. She detaches it and hands it over to Leon, who puts on his spectacles and begins disassembling and tweaking the joints and clockwork inside. In that case, perhaps a compromise is in order, Leon says. He continues to adjust the hand, his voice steadying while his body relaxes. What do you four say to me taking you out to a quick shopping spree tonight before dinner? I'm sure Gallagate has plenty of items that could help the four of you in your adventures.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Haven't been to a shop in ages, please.
Perfect.
Shopping spree, woo!
Yay.
Excellent. We'll get you all suited up in the finest Gallagate armor and weapons, then stop by Little Phalia for any incidental components you may need. Sir, do you think that's a good idea? Jemima asks. Little Phalia has not been the safest location for some time. Dr. VanDerplin scoffs. Of course I am. I've been to Phalia nearly 15 years now, and I'm not going to let a few hooligans keep me from sending off my son in style. Now, everyone, let's go. And as you all leave the office, Jemima gives you all a quick nod, continues tidying up as Roman assists her. However, as you begin to exit through Auxol, you enter into the carriage and are excited to once more explore the city of Pishou. And that's where we'll have to end our session for tonight, folks.
Woo!
Nice. That was
Shopping
nice.
spree.
Next episode, yay.
Next episode is gonna be titled The Shopping Episode.
Yes.
We'll see about that, folks. Hey everyone, Charlie here once more. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Yugoloth Tabletop. We hope you enjoyed the first arc and are ready for something familiar but still completely different in this second story arc. The next episode will be out on May 21st, but in the meantime we'll also be releasing the first episode of our new series, Screen Share. This is meant to be a general information and lore series for specific types of NPCs and creatures as well as races you can run into and use in your own games in 5th edition. The first episode will be about gnolls specifically and will be released May 15th at 6 p.m, so I hope to see you all there. In the meantime, all music used in this episode is licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license and can be found in the end credits or pastebin link down below. Likewise, all sound effects used in this episode are listed under a Creative Commons 4.0, 1, or 3 license and can be found in the credits or pastebin link below. Thank you all so much for listening, and we hope to see you for our next episode.